What is going on, guys? Today I'm back with another video and we'll be going over how to make this spinning blade. So right here, if we stop it for a second, we can see that this is actually made of 8 separate diamond swords. So we'll just go over here and remove them all and we can see how we make this. So this is actually made with armor stands holding diamond swords, and the armor stands are just invisible. So the first step is to summon an armor stand. We need to do this 8 times because there are 8 diamond swords and every armor stand holds 1 sword. And then right next to this is going to be the chain command block, which rotates each new armor stand by 45 degrees. So one thing that's very important is the direction of the arrow on this initial command block, because this arrow is pointing to the right, meaning it's going to activate the chain after this one is activated. If the arrow is misplaced, for example, if your arrow points back and the chain is on your right, then the chain command block won't activate. So it's very important that the arrow is pointing towards the chain command. So we're going to start this off at summon armor stand 1, and then that's going to summon an armor stand right next to the command block. Then we're going to change this to 2 and do it again. And then we're going to go to 3 all the way up to 8. And as you can see, as I summon new armor stands, the previous ones start to rotate, and that's the job of the chain command block. It rotates the armor stands by 45 degrees. So we can do 4 and then 5. As you can see right there, the armor stands are rotating again, and that's necessary to make sure the blades all line up in the spinning fashion. So we're down to our last one, which is 8. Now we have all 8 armor stands that we need. So now we're going to go over here, and this command is going to place diamond swords in each of the armor stands. So replace item entity at E type equals armor stand, slot.weapon.main hand, and then 0 diamond sword. Of course, you can do this manually by just going up to an armor stand and equipping it with the equip button. But instead of doing it 8 separate times, we can just type in one command, and then there we go. Now they all have diamond swords equipped. So that's really good. Now we're going to hold either the right button or the center of the arrow keys to sneak. So for me, it's on my right, but based on how your game settings are, it might be on your left. So now we're going to pose the armor stands, and we're going to tap this 8 times until it poses the sword horizontally. So we'll just do this for all 8, and we'll just go through all of these. And as you can see, the horizontal position was the same position that the spinning swords were in. So eventually we're going to line these up, and then they will make the shape. And be very careful not to tap the armor stands because they will disappear. They're very fragile in Bedrock Edition. So there we go, we're on our last one. And there we go. Now they are all posed. So from here, we're going to make them all invisible. Once again, you can do this manually by using a splash potion of invisibility, but the downside to that is that there will be a bunch of particles from the potion. So instead, we can use this command, which is effect at entity type equals armor stand, invisibility 1000, and then 1 true. The 1000 just means the duration of the potion effect in seconds, and the 1 just means the intensity. So like sharpness 1 or sharpness 2, but since it's invisibility, we'll just leave it at 1. And if we click this, as you can see, all the armor stands are invisible. Now all that's left are the floating swords. So now we're going to teleport them to one spot. And the command for that is just TP at entity type equals armor stand, and then the coordinates. So for me, 10, 4, 12 is right here. So you can get your coordinates by going to settings and then scroll down to show coordinates right here. So now we're just going to click that, and now they have all been teleported to where I am. And that's the spinning blade. So now to make them rotate, we're going to need this command. We're going to get the coordinates, which is 10, 4, and 12, and then do tilde 90. So this is actually very similar to the chain command block because we have the tilde 45. And this just means rotate all of the armor stands by 90 degrees. So if we hit this, as you can see, they now rotate just like that. Of course, this is adjustable. So if you go in here and then change this 90 to, let's say, 180, it will rotate a lot faster because the angle is bigger now. And if we change this to something small, let's say 10, as you can see, it rotates very slowly, just like that. So once again, these coordinates in here, which are 10, 4, and 12, need to match the coordinates of where you teleport it, or else it will not know what to rotate. So that's very important. And then the last thing we have is if we go into survival mode, this can actually do damage. We can go into survival, game mode survival, just like that. And if we go up to it, it currently does no damage. That's because I just turned it off. But if we turn this on, as you can see, I get killed just like that. So this is another command that is fairly interesting. We actually need to go into creative to access it. So we can just do that. And the command is effect at player, radius equals 2, instant damage 1, 1 true. And just like that, you can deal damage to the player with these swords. Because of course armor stands can't attack the player, so the only way to get them to do damage is with a command. And just like that, you now have a new weapon in your survival world. So the last thing I want to mention is if you want to get rid of this quickly, you can just use this command right here, kill at entity type doesn't equal player. One thing to know about this command is that it kills all entities except for the player, meaning that will kill item frames, mobs, boats, minecarts, armor stands. Of course, that's why this disappears, because they are held up with armor stands. So when we do this, we'll see that the armor stands disappear, but all the mobs around us disappear as well. The final thing I want to mention is that as you're doing this, you might notice that the chat gets spammed, especially when you use the rotating command. And the way we can turn that off is by doing /game rule, command block output false. And I already did this before I started the video so that the commands wouldn't spam up the chat. But now I'm just going to turn it back to true just to show that now when I do something, as you can see, now the chat is getting flooded with all those different messages. So to just turn those off, we're just going to do game rule command block output false. And now if we do anything else, as you can see, nothing spams up the chat. So yep, that's basically it for the tutorial. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, feel free to subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.